Hey y'all, Sarah Morgan here with the Instagram account Cooking with the First Ladies. And today for the National First Ladies Library, I'm going to be talking about the Presidential First Ladies Cookie Competition. The competition started back in 1992 when Hillary Clinton made a statement that really upset some stay-at-home moms and homemakers. She said, "I suppose I could have stayed home and baked cookies and had teas, but what I decided to do was fulfill my profession," which I entered in before my husband was in public life. So because of this, Family Circle magazine jumped on the opportunity to start the cookie competition. So the very first in 1992 was Hillary Clinton versus Barbara Bush. These are Hillary Clinton's chocolate chip cookies, which have actually become quite a famous recipe. She's entered it into the contest 2 different times, winning both times that she submitted the recipe. So this is 1.5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, a cup of vegetable shortening, a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs, 2 cups of oats, and 1 12-ounce package of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So a pretty simple recipe. She kind of submitted this because it would have been very popular with the public, as it was since she won. So what you'll get after you bake these on 350 for about 12 minutes is Hillary Clinton's lovely chocolate chip cookies. Next up, I have Michelle Obama's mint chocolate chip cookies. Now these cookies, mine didn't turn out so pretty, but they're delicious. These have 2 1/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, a cup of unsalted butter, 1 stick of Crisco butter flavored vegetable shortening, 3/4 cup sugar, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 2 cups of walnuts, a cup of white chocolate chips, a cup of milk chocolate chips, and a cup of mint chocolate chips. Now, if you can't find mint chocolate chips, you can use Andes mints and crumble them up into your cookie dough. So you get this really cool cookie dough. It smells delicious. And then, like I said, mine didn't turn out so pretty, but they are delicious. Next is Laura Bush's Cowboy cookies. Laura Bush did beat out her competition when she submitted this recipe, and it calls for a tablespoon of baking soda, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of butter, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1.5 cups brown sugar, 3 eggs, 3 cups semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 3 cups of oats. Now this, how you get your cookie to be Texas-sized is you're going to use 1/4 of dough for each cookie. So as they say, everything's bigger in Texas, and so are Laura Bush's Cowboy cookies. Now, on the campaign trail, all the way back since Mary Todd Lincoln, First Ladies have played a huge role in supporting their husbands and campaigning. In fact, most Americans look towards the First Lady when they're making their decisions about who they're going to vote for. Mary Lincoln delegated for her husband, wrote letters. She urged state party leaders to support her husband. Helen Taft helped convince Theodore Roosevelt to support Taft as his presidential successor. Eleanor Roosevelt spoke at the 1940 Democratic Convention, and a lot of that people attribute to why he had his unprecedented 3rd term. Florence Harding acted as one of Warren Harding's campaign managers and really stood up for women as they had just gotten the right to vote. Onward, I'm actually going to show you how to make Melania Trump's star cookies. Now she said that star cookies were her favorite because they're simple yet delicious. She likes to decorate them with frosting or top them with whipped cream. She also says they're perfect to pair with fruits or chocolate ice cream, as well as goes well with your coffee and tea. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 cups of flour and a teaspoon of baking soda together, and you're going to set that aside. Next, you're going to put 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, softened, along with your 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. And then you're going to beat that until it is all mixed together. Now, Melania Trump is 5'11". Of course, she has a wonderful modeling career, but she's actually tied for the tallest First Lady alongside Michelle Obama and Eleanor Roosevelt. So once you've got this mixed, you're going to add in your butter and sour cream. Sour cream was one of the interesting parts to her recipe. And while you're mixing that, get that all mixed together real nice, and then you're going to slowly add in your flour. So it's a really simple recipe, but sometimes the simplest recipes taste the best. Now Melania is also a polyglot. She speaks more languages than any other First Lady. She speaks English, French, German, Italian, Serbian, and her native Slovenian. She submitted this cookie recipe as well. Now the cookie competition has predicted the winner of every single presidential election since the competition started, except for one time. So First Ladies, over time, as I said, have all really been a large part of the campaign trail. Pat Nixon became the first candidate's wife to run for First Lady. They actually had pins that said Pat Nixon for First Lady. Most people thought Pat would make a wonderful First Lady. All right, add in just a little bit more flour. And get that all mixed up. Now you're also going to want to have a star cookie cutter as well. Now, First Ladies have always kind of also taken the heat along the campaign trail. Rachel Jackson, wife of President Andrew Jackson, was really kind of thrown under the bus during his election because of her previous marriage and divorce scandal. So all the First Ladies have not always had the most positive experience, but most of them were really involved in the politics. So you'll finish up, you'll have your dough, and then you will take it and you'll roll it out on a lightly floured surface, and then you're just going to cut your star shapes out of your cookies. And then you're going to bake these as well on 350 for just about 12 minutes. And then what you're going to get is Melania's beautiful star cookies. So you can top these again with whipped cream, frosting, or as I did, you can put some blueberries or different types of fruit. Strawberries would look really pretty too and would be very patriotic. So I hope you enjoyed today's cookie competition video, and a really cool idea would be to bake these cookies and have your friends or family vote and see who would win out in your personal presidential cookie competition. So thanks so much. See you next time.